mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
I'm...
Hello there. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to a very, very, very special presentation we have for you here at Nerd Culture. Once upon a time, in a Disney investor meeting that was not so far away, it was yesterday/last night, as a matter of fact, Disney announced a whole bunch of different projects that are coming soon to a streaming service or to potentially even a movie theater near you. And now for this video, we're going to strictly focus on the Star Wars side of things. Yes, we're going to take a trip to a galaxy far, far away. But I'm not alone in this particular journey. I'm joined by one of our many gamer nerds for our channel at Nerd Culture. He is Gregory Lee. Gregory, how are you?
Hello. I am here and happy to be in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh yes, and there's a lot to unpack. There is a lot to talk about. And we're also going to be joined by a very special guest. She is the host and producer of Willow's Pillow Talk. Yes, you heard me right. Willow's Pillow Talk. She is one and only. Willow Schuyler is in the studio today. Willow, how are you?
I'm great. Have my coffee. I'm good.
Yes, we all need a cup of morning/afternoon Java, whatever gets us through the day. Greg, you know what I'm talking about. You're drinking out of that coffee mug right there on your desk at this very moment. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about coffee, baristas, coffee shops, what have you. The earth is closed today because of pandemics. But you know what isn't closed? I'll tell you what's not closed. It's Disney and how many projects they are throwing at our audience. I'm telling you, they announced 40, it may be like 10,000 different projects, but specifically we're going to focus on the galaxy far, far away known as Star Wars. And here's exactly, Greg knows what we're talking about. Willow knows what we're talking about. We all know what we're talking about. Boy, that came out wrong. But anyway, we're going to go through this one project at a time. We're going to present to you the information that we have in front of us on our desk about these particular movies or TV projects. We are going to go around the table here and get everyone's thoughts. Now, if you have any questions, thoughts, opinions, or any speculation that you want to toss at us, put it in the live chat, put it in the comments. We would love to hear about it. We are going to be presenting those comments a little bit towards the end of the show, but we do want to hear from you. So if you have any opinions whatsoever, drop them in the live chat. We'll take a look at it a little bit later on. But first things first, we can just kind of go over this fairly quickly. It's called The Mandalorian. We all knew it was going to be renewed for another season, but it is official now. Disney has announced that The Mandalorian Season 3 is coming. More specifically, it's going to drop on Christmas Day of next year or so for Disney Plus. So if you're on Disney Plus streaming service, expect a new season to be dropping next year. Is anyone else not surprised at this news?
Isn't that expected for Star Wars something or other to be released around Christmas time?
Yes, it is the gift that keeps on giving. And with The Mandalorian and how awesome-tacular it has been within its first 2 season runs, yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. Just give me more of the suit. Give me more of the guy throwing out one-liners, blasting people away with either a pistol or a sniper rifle. I don't care. Just give me more Mandalorian. But we're getting it. So season 3 coming soon.
But now the question is The Mandalorian a Christmas show?
Oh.
I wonder. Is it? I mean, if you have any speculations about that, toss it in the chat. We can talk more about that later.
I wonder if they will do a Christmas theme.
Maybe a Christmas special.
I feel like they might, like, eventually. Eventually they're going to do a Christmas themed episode. And I'm here for it. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Give a little Grogu a gift. Like, why not?
More eggs.
He does have
more eggs.
No, do not give him any more eggs. But aside from that, The Mandalorian Season 3, it is coming soon to Disney Plus for next year around Christmas time, so stay tuned for more details on that. Something that is going to be spinning out of The Mandalorian. It is officially announced. I pretty much knew it was coming because as soon as she made her live-action debut on this season of The Mandalorian, that would be Ahsoka Tano, played brilliantly and extremely awesome-tacularly by Rosario Dawson. The powers that be have officially announced that a spin-off series simply titled Ahsoka is coming. And Rosario Dawson is going to be reprising her role as Ahsoka Tano. It's going to take place within the Mandalorian timeline, so it's going to be, few years, maybe between that 5 year, maybe even more so after the events of Return of the Jedi, because the Mandalorian is set 5 years after the events of Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So that is how it's going to go down. Rosario's coming back. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are going to be calling the shots. Okay. They're going to be running the show. They're going to be doing their creative genius. They're going to put it more so into play. And other than that, no release date has been announced for this as of yet, but I'm going to go around the table here. Greg, how do you feel about Ahsoka Tano getting her own spin-off series on Disney+?
I am cautiously optimistic about it because I love Ahsoka, but like I'm just like very nervous as to what role they're going to put her in, because like you can't really do a space western with Ahsoka. So I'm trying to think of like what genre they're actually going to put this in.
That's
like
fair.
That like once I get like a genre or like a feel for it, I feel like I'll be a lot more excited. But as of right now, I'm just going to be like, I'm happy that this is happening because I always need more of this. But I'm also just like, you can't do a space western and like. You don't want to do like just her flying around the galaxy, just like hanging out. So what are we going to do here?
I can see your point. It really depends on where they take the story, but I have full confidence in Favreau and Filoni. They're going to kill this.
That's true.
They're killing it with Mandalorian. This is the way. So I have no problem with them helming an Ahsoka series. And we're going to turn things over to our special guest for this week, Willow. I got to hear your thoughts on this. What are your feelings about an Ahsoka Tano series that is coming to Disney Plus with Rosario Dawson in the title role?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited for that. That's awesome. My husband, on the other hand, he's the huge Star Wars nerd in the house, and he is angry. He refuses to watch the Clone Wars because it like destroyed the canon. So that's what I have to live with here.
I think we can hear one of our producers a little upset in the backstage area. My goodness gracious! But overall, you're excited. You personally are jacked up. You can't wait for this thing. If this thing were to drop tomorrow, you would be there front and center.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rosario Dawson, like who would have thought for her to even be in here in The Mandalorian? First of all, I'm excited to see her go full-fledged all the way with this character.
All right. Well, like we said, no release date has been set, so more details will be announced as they become available. We'll drop those here for you, and so on and so forth. Now, something else that's going to be kind of spinning out of The Mandalorian is something I'm a little bit curious about, how they're going to execute this plan and see if it's going to actually work, because this, to me, is one of those projects that is going to be a tough sell. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be something you have to go uphill. It's going to be a bit of a tough mountain to climb. It's going to be called Rangers of the New Republic. It's spinning out of The Mandalorian. It's also coming from Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. No other details were specifically released for this, but they already introduced some new Republic pilots in the Mandalorian series, such as Paul Son Hong Lee's Captain Carson Teva, so it's possible that he could be appearing in this series. More intriguingly, it's also going to build up, this and Ahsoka are going to build up to a massive crossover event that's going to build up between Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Rangers of the New Republic. So I'm curious about how that's going to go down, but the storylines are going to feed into one another and likely pointing to potentially Grand Admiral Thrawn as an overarching villain for this mega event that they're going to build up to between Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Rangers of the New Republic. But more specifically, Rangers of the New Republic about these new pilots that are kind of help establish the New Republic and kind of see how it's building up and how it's going to be put together. I've heard rumors that Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano, she's the new Republic Marshal, so she could tie into this. Very, very important role she could be playing. She could make an appearance. She could be like the centerpiece of this. I don't know. To me, some people were speculating last night. I was talking about this with some friends, Thomas Carter Rochester, and he was saying that this is like Space Cops, and that to me just sounds boring and not really exciting. But then again, it's going to culminate in one massive crossover event. So that portion of it I'm looking forward to. But the rest of this to me is going to be a tough sell. Willow, what say you about Rangers of the New Republic?
Let's be honest. I want a cop show with the Empire.
Even though this one's going to be focused on more so the Republic side of things rather than the leftovers of the Empire.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it all, but I like cop shows, so I definitely want a cop show for the Star Wars universe.
All right, I can see that. So, all right, so that's a fair yes. You'll be down. You'll be there for the opening day of this series. That's fair enough. What say you, Greg? What do you think about Rangers of the New Republic for Disney Plus?
I was unsure about it until you said cop show, and then I was just like
space cops, to be more specific.
I was just like Law and Order in space. Law and Order in space. Like yes.
Is that what you want?
Like Law and Order, like Miami PD, like NCIS,
Miami Vice,
Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods. Yeah,
that's actually very interesting. Like just seeing like the inner workings of them, like probably just like going out and like trying to like dismantle what's left of like the Empire and like arresting and like taking on like bounty hunting jobs. Like that'd be interesting. Like that would actually be interesting.
Bad shots, okay.
Yeah, like I feel like it'll be interesting. I feel like it'll also give people like a lot more like space battles, like TIE fighters, like in space battles, which would be fun. So
yeah, you could get some dogfighting sequences, maybe a little bit of Top Gun vibes there.
Exactly.
I mean, who knows?
Like there are a lot of different paths this can go, and like
potentially yes.
And now I'm just like excited to see where it goes because I kind of really like the like space cops like idea of it. Like that, like now that that's been said, like I will not accept anything except that.
So are we going to see some of these pilots that are going to be, parking their spaceships at a docking bay, of course, and then they're going to go by Dexter's Diner like Obi-Wan did in Attack of the Clones and be like, "Hey Dex, can we get some Jamba Juice?"
Yeah, exactly. That would be fun.
What's that? I don't know. We'll see. We don't have too many details that have been released for this project as of yet, but more details are going to drop. I'm pretty sure they're going to drop somewhere in 2021. Rangers of the New Republic. See how it turns out. It is going to culminate in a giant crossover event with Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So we'll see.
That is also interesting. It's just like just thinking about the fact that like they're trying to like build up an entire like universe and like
connect it all. Yeah.
Small span of time between movies and then like try to tie it into like the movie. And like it also gives us like another route to see like the First Order rise.
No, that's true. I would love to see more details about how the First Order rises, some of the inner workings of the politics in between that. I would like to see that. That's
something that I've been waiting for in like The Mandalorian for like 2 seasons so far. So I'm just like, this needs to happen.
I'm like, what?
Like I need this to happen, and now that these 2 shows are coming out, I'm just like, okay, so it can happen. Like I'm excited about this now.
All right. Well, we'll see where it goes. Now, one project that has me one of the many projects that has me intrigued more than anything. It's simply called The Acolyte. This is going to be on Disney Plus. This is from Russian Doll creator Leslie Headland is going to be helming this thing. Now Disney has confirmed just when it is set. The Acolyte is set at the end of the High Republic era, which is some 200 years before the events of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The Acolyte is being described as a mystery thriller that is going to take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. Wow.
Huh.
That is mysterious. It's creepy. It's dark. It can go in a million different directions. It's going to be the focus of a transmedia project, which is going to be including several books as well as comics, which are not going to cross over the TV or movies. But clearly, the opportunity was simply too good to exist for these people. But it mostly is going to focus on brand new characters. It remains to be seen if any of some of those characters are going to appear in The Acolyte. No specific details on which characters, who's going to play those characters is going to appear as of yet. But just reading the synopsis of The Acolyte, sign me up. I want to see something different. I want to see something fresh. I want to see some new mysterious layers to how the High Republic and maybe the Jedi or the Sith may have operated, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. I want to see how that was going, and I want to see how it evolved and how some characters developed certain abilities within themselves due to their use of the Force. The Acolyte intrigues the heck out of me. Greg, what do you think about The Acolyte coming to Disney Plus?
I'm interested in it. Like it seems like it's going to be like kind of like a political thriller almost, which is like interesting. Like that for some reason, that's like the one thing from the prequels I was like really interested in was the politics. For no, like as a teenager, I'm just like, ooh, these politics are so interesting. I don't know why. Like the lightsabers were cool and like Darth Maul was like cool, but I was there for the politics, honestly. But it's also like, all right, like we're going back again. So it's just like I want to go more into the future of Star Wars, but like I mean, sure, like the past and like the history of it is like really cool, but like I really do want to see more of the future, and I'm excited that there are new characters, like they're new, never before seen characters, and people that we don't know a lot about. Like they're not just going back and like trying to like do like Princess Leia or something like that again, which would be like, okay, why keep rehashing like these old characters? Like give us something new to be excited about, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, once again, this is going to be set 200 years before the events of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So there's a lot of room to play with there. There's a lot of things you can do. There's a proverbial sandbox.
And I like that they gave themselves that time, too.
Yeah, move the pieces around and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Willow, The Acolyte, 200 years before the events of Phantom Menace. What say you on this one?
So we're going to see more like the West Wing kind of version of the Star Wars universe. That's going to be interesting.
That's a good way to put it. I would not mind seeing that. Thanks for bringing that to our attention, Willow.
I'm not sure if I'll be too interested and too invested in that aspect, but I'll try to watch it and see where it goes. But yeah, I'm sure there's a market for it.
Mm-hmm. It depends on the marketing. Depends on how they're going to market this. Depends on how the trailers come out. What kind of characters are going to be introduced? What are the dynamics going to be between characters? If the trailer's good, maybe it'll sell you. We'll see. Depends on the marketing.
Political thrillers and espionage, like that's fun.
For Greg, anyway. Boy, Greg, it's getting really dark here. Yes, that could be a good thing. We'll see.
Also, I did watch Russian Doll. Wasn't my favorite show in the world, but it was good. So I feel like it's in good hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very well made show. So
the West Wing went for many years. So
this is also true.
I could be wrong that it could be one of those good shows that last like Law and Order.
Exactly. West Wing in space.
Yeah, West Wing in space, something like that. I don't know. Boy, my goodness gracious. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. More details will be released as they become available. We already got some people chiming in the chat. I love it. Any other thoughts? Feel free to chime in. Drop them in the chat. We will bring those comments up on here on our screen in just a few moments. I want to transition over to this one. This project left me SMH, which stands for shaking my head. Why? Why would you do this? Why would you make this? I don't see anyone clamoring for this. I don't see people on the internet begging for there to be a spin-off series focusing on this particular character.
I'm so interested now.
Because, quite frankly, this character's appearances in Clone Wars and Rebels, it's fine. It's fine. I don't think we need more of this. Even his appearance in Solo: A Star Wars Story was okay. Could have been better, but it was fine for what it was. Lando's system? No, Lando's not a system. He's a man. Lando Calrissian. Sorry, that's a quote from one of the Star Wars movies. But anyway, the Galaxy's Favorite Scoundrel is making yet another return to the universe, a live-action series based on the character of the same name. It's simply going to be called Lando. It's going to be developed by Justin Simien, the creator of Dear White People, which is still in its early stages of development.
Oh, interesting.
No other details have been revealed as of yet. It's unknown if Lando is going to bring back either Donald Glover from the Solo film or even Billy D. Williams from the original Star Wars trilogy, who previously made an appearance in Rise of Skywalker. But a series focused on Glover's version of Lando has been rumored for a few years, I should say. I mean, hey, it's also possible a Lando show could, bring in some certain different kind of timelines, maybe even different takes on the character of Lando. But for me, why? I think to me this is a waste of money. It's a waste of time. I don't care about a Lando spin-off series. This isn't something that's going to get me out of bed in the morning. I'm not going to be rushing to my local streaming service to watch an episode each and every week centering on Lando, this scoundrel, who we have already seen in different iterations of Star Wars, whether it be Clone Wars or specifically Rebels. He had a few appearances in that. That was fun. His appearance in Solo: A Star Wars Story. Fine. Not great, but it was fine. But I don't get it. I really don't get it. Willow, are you in any way, shape, or form interested in a Lando series on Disney Plus?
They've touched on that whole thing with how Lando lost the Millennium Falcon. Do we need to know more? Like, I don't know. Greg, you're probably more invested in the character than I am, but I don't know. Do we need a Lando spinoff?
I mean, not really. Like, in all honesty, like, not like what makes Lando cool and like what makes him such a great character is the mystery behind him.
Is there a mystery though?
It's like he's this guy that just like runs Cloud City. Like, I don't want to know how he got there. Like, I don't know what
I look at Lando like he's a space pimp.
Oh,
he's like that cool mayor that's just like, oh man, like he's like that cool mayor that like knows everybody in town, and like if you have a problem, you can like go to him directly and you can just talk to him. But like to get like an entire series about him, like I don't know how interesting that would be, because like he's not the guy that's getting his hands dirty. He's the guy that's organizing everything. So like unless they're doing like an Ocean's 11
money, it's like, who cares?
It's like unless they're doing like an Ocean's 11 type show, like I don't know how well this is going to go.
Yeah.
And also like it is interesting that they got the creator of Dear White People to handle this show, because like Star Wars is such a action driven, like it's such an action driven show, but like Dear White People is like all about like subtext and like conversations and like really delving into like just everything that's going on in the world. Yeah. And like to take the into like, and like I don't know how that's going to play into Star Wars particularly. Like there are like some Star Wars movies and shows where like conversations do really matter and like you have to pay attention to everything that's being said, but like I feel like those are the parts of Star Wars that like no one really pays attention to or like no one really likes.
Yeah.
So they're kind of just like it's almost like you're trying to take like all the action out of Star Wars and put like the talking bits back in.
Yeah.
Which is just like, don't tell us, show us.
See, Dear White People has like I love the show. Don't get me wrong, but it touches on a lot of the civil rights aspect of our current environment, our current world, and to have I don't know if we should have that in our Star Wars universe though. I don't know,
because like it's not really. I mean, I feel like the most that they touch on is like slavery in like Star Wars and like the slave trade, and just like, oh, okay, like maybe they can focus on that, but like that's just like one aspect of the world that like we don't really focus on. But I mean, I will say like I will watch this show and just be like, okay, like I'm going to give it a chance because it's Star Wars and I love Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
So, and also if it's Billy D. Williams, like I'm happy.
You know what? If they do kind of like have Billy D. Williams talk about his life and then do a flashback with Glover, then I'm okay with that. But it's just, again, Lando is a space pimp. He's the guy that you go to for all your all your hookups.
Yeah. Like I feel like maybe like a limited series, like this show would do great like as a limited series, just to like I guess give some context to Lando Calrissian, but like an entire like show or series I feel like wouldn't work for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Like I said, this isn't getting me out of the bed in the morning. Why? I'm going back to sleep. 10 more minutes.
This is going to be your Rogue One.
So,
This is going to be your Rogue One, Ryan.
I don't even want to talk about that. But anyway, Lando, we'll see how it shakes out. Time will tell. Now, here's something that has been building up in fans' minds and a lot of people, in a lot of moviegoers' minds for so many years. They've been asking for this for so long, and they're asking the question: when is it going to happen? Who's going to be in it? What kind of story is going to be involved in this? Well, now we know. Now we know. So, if you remember, there's a scene in a not so good movie called Revenge of the Sith, where there's a robotic character named General Grievous, and he hears a mysterious noise behind him, and he turns around and he looks at him and says, "General Kenobi." And Obi-Wan Kenobi is officially coming back from the proverbial dead. Obi-Wan Kenobi's coming back. And not only that, Ewan McGregor, that's right, Ewan McGregor, bless you, from the prequel series is reprising his iconic role of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's going to start filming in March of 2021. It's going to most likely have a 2022 release date, just to be clear. And they also had some big reveals about how the show is going to work, okay? So Obi-Wan, as it's being called, is going to take place not 1, not 2, but 10, count them, 10 years after the events of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. But it also has been announced that Hayden Christensen, that's right, Hayden Christensen is coming back as a character known as Darth Vader. And it's going to be a 6-episode limited series that's going to chronicle some of Obi-Wan Kenobi's time in his exile when he's chilling like a proverbial hero, not a villain in this case, but he's chilling like a hero on Tatooine, keeping an eye on Luke Skywalker, where he keeps watch. Deborah Chow of The Mandalorian is going to direct this particular Star Wars show, with Hossein Amini, I should say, from the Two Faces of January, is going to be writing this. So you get a reunion of Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen in the same show at the same time, 10 years after the events of Episode 3. So my question is this going to work or not? Because I've always been iffy on an Obi-Wan Kenobi spin-off series, much less a movie, because we already know the story of this iconic character of what happened after Episode 3. He goes into exile, keeps an eye on Luke for 2 decades to make sure he's doing well, and then he teaches him the ways of the Force in Episode 4, A New Hope. But in between that, he did have one last face-off with someone known as Darth Maul, which was featured in Star Wars Rebels. That was cool. I liked that. I liked where they went with that. But Hayden Christensen, who was one of the absolute worst parts of the prequel trilogy, don't know about this, and I'm even more concerned. I'm okay with Ewan McGregor coming back because people have been clamoring for him for years. But then again, do we really need this series? Because I feel like we already know the story of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and if you mess with it a little bit too much more, you're going to be ruined. You potentially could damage the legacy of the original trilogy, and you could also ruin the canon. Because I don't know if Darth Vader and Obi-Wan had a duel before they met up on the Death Star in Episode 4, because some people were hinting that that's where this story could go. If that's the case, you're kind of ruining my childhood, and you're messing with the original trilogy, and that's not something you want to do when 7 billion people on this planet are a fan of the original trilogy. Don't mess with that. But only time is going to tell. Hayden is the biggest factor in this. Hayden being in this, oh boy, it makes me even more concerned, because Hayden, you're going to be in a suit. We're not going to see you. And if we do see you, people are saying it's going to be in flashback sequences. But why do we even need flashback sequences? We saw those in Episodes 2 and 3. Hello? We saw you in the Clone Wars. Hello? It's like, why? I'm very confused, and I'm very, very cautious, and I'm very concerned and worried about this. But I don't know. This could go in a million different directions. This could either be very good or a horrible piece of garbage. I don't know. I have no idea. Brian, get off my screen. What are you even doing? Put that down. We're going to get to the comments later, Willow. But anyway, I'm very concerned. This could be a very negative or potentially somewhat positive thing for Star Wars fans across the world. Greg, what do you think about Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming to Disney Plus with the returns of Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen?
I honestly feel the same way as I did about Lando. Is kind of just like what makes these characters cool is like just the rumors and like the word of mouth that they had from like the in-between stuff, like the stuff that we didn't see. That's what makes them interesting and cool. But like to actually like go back and like film it and see it, it's just like, oh, like you're taking away like the mystery again. Like this is the fun of it. Like I mean like sure, like I feel like Hayden Christensen should get a second chance. I mean, like he was written like so poorly in the prequels. Like he was like I honestly don't think it's his fault. I just think that was just straight up bad writing. But that's an argument for another day. But like
you're only as good as your director.
This is true.
Which didn't work out very well.
So I feel like sure I'll watch it, but like anything past like those 6 episodes, like I don't like, then you're just like running it into the ground. Like we already know Obi-Wan Kenobi, we already know Darth Vader. Like I feel like they're those characters that like you sprinkle them in every now and then, but like we don't need like an entire like focus on them anymore.
So are we gonna see like a really poorly done CGI version of Guinness? You know,
Guinness? What is that?
The guy who did Obi-Wan in the movies.
Oh, Guinness. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you talking about the drink or the? I'm like, what?
No, sorry.
No. Alec Guinness. Yes.
Maybe.
Alec Guinness is a legend in his own right, and he was fantastic in A New Hope, which is one of the reasons why the original Star Wars trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time, and for good reason. Alec Guinness, yeah, the whole de-aging thing. I don't. Well, here's the thing. Ewan McGregor is already at that age where Alec Guinness was in the original trilogy. So, you know, timeline-wise and looks-wise of Ewan's face, this could work. I mean, but then again, people could de-age him. They could mess with the effects a little bit. I don't know, but here's some funny stuff coming in. Obi-Wan Kenobi series, or as we like to call it, Adventures in Babysitting, Tatooine edition.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's just like he's just standing on a mountain watching the kid. It's just like, yep. That's Luke, all right.
Here's something that Brian brings up. Brian says that when Hayden showed up at Star Wars Celebration last year or the year before, the audience cheered really loud. Well, here's the thing.
I love the guy.
That's fine, but his chops in those 2 movies, even though it was horrible writing and bad directing, still, I don't think I want to see you again, Hayden. I'm sorry. I'm good.
Like he's still like a pretty young actor too. Like
he's somewhat young. I mean, I don't know how old Hayden is. I think he's in his 40s now. But geez.
Yeah, I honestly don't blame him. Like I just blame bad writing on that one.
Yeah, it was bad writing and directing.
I'll give him a chance to redeem himself.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can give him that though. That's asking way too much. But
Greg, the world is full of second chances.
So it's fair to say Greg is a little apprehensive about this situation of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Willow, what are your 2 cents? Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Someone pitches you the returns of Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen coming back 10 years after the events of Episode 3. What say you? Are you in for this? Do you think this is a matter of concern? Do you think it's going to work out tremendously well or not?
Leave Natalie Portman alone. Don't bring her in.
I don't think Padme is scheduled to be involved in this whatsoever because it's after the events of Revenge of the Sith. She kind of died 10 years ago, so, you know.
Oh, they'll find a way to put her in.
I don't know, Greg.
Sorry. Not a fan. Not a fan of Natalie Portman. I'm sorry.
What do you think of the series overall? You think it's a good idea, bad idea, somewhere in the middle?
Overall, you know, again, it's a fan service thing. I think a lot of like the fanboys wanted this like 10 years ago, but now it's like we don't We have the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That's keeping us busy.
We don't need the Kenobi thing. We don't need the Kenobi series.
That's the thing. I feel like they should really start focusing on like new stories. Like if you want to like play within that time period, sure, do that. But like give us new characters. Like I already know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is. I already know who Darth Vader is. Like I already know who Luke Skywalker is. Like give me someone else. Like I need new people to become fans of. Like
Okay. So it's fair. So what is it? I'm just my head's trying to wrap my head around this whole thing. So Willow, you're under the impression that this probably isn't the best thing to do.
I don't know. Like,
well, it depends. Maybe it depends on the marketing.
I guess so. Like, I don't know.
This to me is going to be the toughest sell of the bunch. This to me is the hardest sell because it's Kenobi. We already know his story. We've been through it 100 times already. Move on to something else.
Yeah.
But
what do you think, Joe? Do you think we should have an Obi-Wan thing?
Series.
An Obi-Wan series?
No.
Even one of the many producers that we have here at the studio in the backstage area, no. So there you go. Hey, if you guys feel differently about this, hop on. Let me see. I'm seeing a bunch of comments here. Let me see. Hold on. Josh says, inject all the Star Wars into my veins. Josh, and by the way, Hayden, if you're watching this, Josh has this to say. I heart Hayden.
I love Hayden Christensen.
So,
like,
okay.
I really like Hayden.
We'll see. We'll see. Time is going to tell.
I really like him, but like again, like this is just like a show it's not needed. Like we don't absolutely need this.
It really isn't, but we'll see. Hey, listen, this is the hardest sell for me. If the marketing is good and they give me an actual reason why this series should exist and why we would potentially enjoy it, then I'll potentially jump on board. But as of now, it's a hard no. I don't want this. We don't need it. Hayden Christensen, I'm sorry, you can't be redeemed in my eyes. You just can't. Now, I did like you in Shattered Glass. Shattered Glass, you were fantastic in. But outside of that, Hayden, you can move on to something else. Anyway, the next series that we are going to share information with you about, if you have any thoughts or opinions about any of the things we've discussed already, feel free to drop them in the chat. We will get to those a little bit later. The next thing I want to tell you about, I'm a little intrigued by this. In the beginning, I was like, do we really need this? But then when I saw the footage that has been released for this new series coming to Disney+, it's currently in production. It's going to focus on a character from Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which to me is the best Star Wars prequel we ever got, period. It's such a great movie. Cassian Andor is coming back. More specifically, it's going to be called Andor, and Diego Luna is going to be reprising his role of the character. And let's see here. Cassian is going to be focusing on his character and the concept, the sizzle reel that was teased last night. It's about him being the hero, working against the Empire, with events taking place 5 years before the events of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Now, the release date has not yet been announced, but they did confirm it's being described as a tense, nail-biting spy thriller. Is going to premiere on Disney Plus potentially in 2022. Now, I had a chance to sit down and watch the behind-the-scenes footage / teaser trailer for this series, and I got to say, I'm excited for this. Now that I know a little bit more about where this series is going to be set, what the timeline is going to be, how they're going to handle it, I'm down. It's a spy thriller. It's James Bond in space. I'm down for it. Give it to me. So Cassian Andor, Diego Luna as the lead character, as well as one of the executive producers of the series. I'm down. And plus it's a bit of a return to Rogue One, and I enjoyed the heck out of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So for me, this is a yes. I'm on board. Willow, what do you think about Andor, the series with Diego Luna?
I loved Rogue One. It definitely was one of those movies where you invested yourself in all the characters, and of course the story of it just broke my heart, because it's like I loved every single one of those characters and would have loved to see a little bit more done with it. But I don't know. I think all the feels will come back for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it, but I'm also worried about all the like. Are we gonna be burnt out by the time the show starts with all the other stuff that's happening with Star Wars? Like, I'm worried about the Star Wars burnout that's going to happen.
That is actually a really good point.
Disney announced so many projects, and some people were speculating about this. I actually saw a few people bring this up on Twitter last night. I know this is a quick sidebar, and I want to try to stay on topic as much as possible, but someone brought up the thing on Twitter by saying, you're giving us too much too fast. You're pushing this way too hard. Now, do I necessarily agree with that statement? Possibly, but it depends on how good or what the marketing campaign is going to be for some of these other series and movies that are coming. And we're going to get to a few more here in just a moment, but that is a fair point. Are we getting too much too quickly? Because, as we all know, we're still in the middle of a global pandemic. We're not sure how long it's going to last. We're not sure what the long-term effects are of the new vaccine that is currently being released overseas and is possibly going to make its way over to the States very soon. We don't know if that vaccine is going to be 100% effective. We don't know how it's going to affect people in the long run. We don't know when businesses, schools, and other studios are going to be reopening their doors so that actors and actresses and producers can come back and start shooting these things. Now, I am aware that Hollywood is already shooting a bunch of movies right now. I understand that. But if you put too many people on a set, someone more than likely is going to test positive. And when that happens, you're going to have to shut down your set for 2 to 3 weeks just to make sure that everyone is safe and not infected with the virus. That's going to take time. And the more you delay these things, the more people are going to be turned off by that, and they're going to tell you, hey, you're taking too long. You probably should not have announced these things because we're still in the midst of a global pandemic. You should have waited until the pandemic was more subdued, more taken care of, and put away to the side, and people have been vaccinated and we're safe to be around our friends and our families and our coworkers. So are we getting too much too fast? Great question. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to find out as we move along. But with Andor, I believe, what was it, Willow? You were saying you're on board, right?
I'm on board.
Okay, so you're on board. You'll be on the ship with everyone else. We're going to be flying, and we're going to be helping Cassian Andor accomplish his missions. Greg, what do you think about Andor, the series, with Diego Luna reprising his role?
Ryan, I think you know where I stand. Like, Rogue One was quite possibly the most pointless Star Wars movie, or most pointless Star Wars thing ever to be made, because we knew exactly what happened in the first 10 minutes of episode 1. It's just we have these plans. How do we get them? These people just ran up and got them for us. What happened to them? They died. Okay, that's it. That's Rogue One. We didn't need to see it. And now for us to get more Rogue One stuff, just five, and not only is it just it's just so close to the events of Rogue One. It's just how much are you actually going to get out of it at this point? So I'm just okay, I'm good. Rogue One was really pretty. It was
more
a gorgeous
Alan Tudyk.
movie.
More Alan Tudyk.
I'm just I mean, it's pointless. We know what happens to all these people. There's no mystery about it.
All right, so basically, we're gonna put you in timeout because you're basically, in other words, Greg is saying thanks, but no thanks. I got better things to do with my time.
Yes.
Okay. No, that's fine, Greg. Hey, you wanna be put in the corner and not witness the potential greatness that Andor I think is gonna be? Okay, fine.
Just saying, man.
Just saying, man. All right, whatever. Anyway. All right. Well, moving on, because we still got a few more projects to get through here. The next thing we're going to bring to your attention, for those of you who are watching, if you're just joining us, we're talking about all the news that dropped specifically for Star Wars movies and TV series. So if you're interested in any of that, if you have any comments or thoughts or speculation about that, drop them in the comments. We would love to hear from you. We're going to get to a few more of those as we move along here. But the next thing I want to bring to your attention, this is another series, and actually they released they released a teaser trailer for what this series is going to be about. and the sort of characters that are going to be thrown into the mix here. This was previously reported earlier on in the summer of 2020. It's going to be called Star Wars The Bad Batch. Yeah, it's going to be an animated series. It's going to be set in Star Wars. The series is going to center on the titular Bad Batch, which is a group of defected clone troopers with mutation capabilities beyond that of their fellow clones. It's going to be set after the events of the Clone Wars series, which is the time that Galactic Empire rises and makes the shift to using just people who can't shoot straight, known as stormtroopers. Hello. The Bad Batch is going to be traversing the galaxy, taking on a set of daring mercenary missions as they attempt to find a new purpose in life. Wow.
Yeah.
This is going to show up on Disney Plus in the year of 2021, and the teaser trailer dropped for this last night. I got to say, a bunch of renegade troopers who have special abilities that are separate from everybody else going on daring missions? Sounds a bit like the Suicide Squad. But you know what? I'm down for it. I want series to be dark. I want this to get down and dirty and gritty. I want to see people laying the smackdown who we don't normally see on our television screen. So the Bad Batch, even though they previously worked for the enemy, but would potentially be good guys or maybe anti-heroes like the Punisher, I'm down. I'm intrigued. I like the teaser trailer that was dropped last night. If you have seen the footage from this, let us know in the chat. Greg, the Bad Batch could be a runaway hit. Your thoughts?
I absolutely just love all the characters in the Bad Batch. And the fact that they're like the ones that refuse the Order 66, I'm just like, oh, I love these guys. Like Captain Rex and the boys, like I'm already sold. Like they were like the best, like some of the best parts of the Clone Wars series. So I'm already on board.
All right, well that's all right. Thumbs up from you, Willow. The Bad Batch, renegade clone troopers, could get down and dirty, could get gritty. What do you say?
I'll give it a try. It's the closest thing to a Marvel and Star Wars superhero amalgamation that we're gonna get, obviously. But sure, I'll give it a try. Sounds interesting. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical, but at the same time, I'm just like stormtroopers with superpowers. We'll see what happens.
Gotta love them.
Gotta love them. Gotta love them. Gotta love them. Isn't that a song? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, the Bad Batch. I liked your trailer. I like your marketing campaign. I'm down and dirty, gritty thriller type show for Star Wars. Give it to me, baby. I will take it. Anything over Lando.
Anything over
General Kenobi.
Anything over Rogue One.
Hey. Best prequel ever made. Shut your face. But anyway, as we move along, here's something that, once again, this is going to leave me #shaking my head. Why is this being made? Why is this happening? It makes absolutely no sense to me, because these mechanisms have made numerous appearances in different forms of Star Wars media, whether it be in animated movies, live action films, or even the books. But I'm going to ask the question. In the words of Ryan Reynolds, aka Deadpool, but why? A droid story. Star Wars. A droid story. Why? Because...
Oh, I can tell you why, very easily.
Hold on a second. Let me give the synopsis for the audience watching at home, because I was a little confused about this myself. So the story it started with R2, D2, and C-3PO. We all know that. So the oft-bickering pair of C-3PO and R2-D2 are going to be returning. It's going to be in a droid story, which is an adventure series that will combine animation with ILM's visual effects, and it's going to introduce a brand new hero who is guided, get this, guided by R2 and 3PO. No release date, no casting, no voice cast, no other details have been announced. But why? This is another thing. Why do we need this show? This makes absolutely no sense to me. Willow.
I think Brian says it perfectly. It's for kids.
Brian, still, I don't get it. In the words of Tom Hanks, Brian, I still don't get it. Willow, Star Wars: A Droid Story. Are you going to be there opening day?
Probably not, but if they're gearing it more towards the newer, like the new generation, the kids, then okay, fine. But we're getting old. We're gonna need the new generation to take over someday. But I don't know. Again, I think it's too much too fast for all the Star Wars stuff. But the droid story. I mean, how much more C-3PO and R2-D2 bro relationship do you need? Like, I don't know.
Greg, Star Wars, a droid story. You gonna be there for this or what?
Like Brian said, like this is for the kids. Like this is legitimately for the kids. And to answer your question, why do this? Money. Like this is legitimately just like a show to sell toys to children. Like this is not for us. This is not for the adults. This is for children, so that when they watch this, they're like, "Mom, Dad, go buy me these now." Like this is legitimately just like their cash grab that they're throwing in the middle of this, which is just like I don't like it, because like why would you why do this? Like why not advance?
Do not need any more convincing to buy the toys. I already have the Millennium Falcon Lego set. I already have
exactly. Like this is
a lightsaber.
And like I don't know how much of a story you can get out of R2-D2 in 3PO. Like it's
just
not,
it's not there. R2-D2 and 3PO already. Just that's all you need is that aspect of it.
Like they're like side characters that you kind of just like that like help move the story along from time to time, but like there's like to focus a story on them and like them like guiding someone, which they've both done it before in like the Clone Wars and the movies, and I'm pretty sure they were in Rebels at some point. I honestly can't remember, but like they've kind of been everywhere, and like they're background characters. Like we don't need to know more about them. Like we know enough about them. We know like where they came from. We know who built them, like what they do. Like it's not. There's not enough story there to make something except merchandising money.
I can certainly understand that. So yeah, droid story. It'll be good for the 2-year-olds sitting at home doing nothing. But for me, I don't care, pal. Just move on.
Like there's going to be a lot of cute plushes coming out of that.
Oh, believe me, they're going to milk that toy line for all it's worth. When it comes to droids or any of these projects, they're going to milk the toy line, that's for sure. But anyway,
somewhere George Lucas is crying into his money.
Droid story, we'll let it go. It's just whatever. Do your own thing. So bless you, producers in the back. My goodness. Anyway. The next thing I want to bring to your attention, my goodness, this has been a heck of a show, and we've had so much fun doing this. And I know one of our colleagues is asking a very big question, but I don't know, young Padawan. Maybe we'll bring you on for the final story of today's show. We'll see. Depends if you behave or not. Anyway, I know I feel like I'm a teacher or something. Anyway, your next show that came out wrong. Sorry. Anyway, the next series that I want to bring to everyone's attention. This is regarding the Star Wars universe. Now. This one has me intrigued. I think I'm pretty sure I'm gonna check this out, especially when the trailer comes out. I'm definitely gonna be invested in that. This is gonna be called Star Wars Visions. Yes, I had a vision of the future, or maybe at the past. I don't know. But anyway, Star Wars Visions is gonna take the franchise in a whole new direction. Well, you have me intrigued there. Few details have been officially announced, but Star Wars Visions is going to explore the universe through some of the world's best anime creators, with Lucasfilm describing Visions as a series of animated short films celebrating Star Wars as a whole. Now, Visions will come from a variety of Japanese animation studios, with the anthology set to include 10 short films. Okay, so a new form of storytelling. and a new way of telling the story with anime and Japanese animation from Japanese animators and producers and writers and directors. It has me intrigued a little bit. I would be up for checking out the trailer for this. I can't really say much other than that, but Greg, Star Wars Visions. What say you?
I am so happy about this. I love this idea. Like getting like new people to write these stories and like giving like new people a chance to like play in this like huge sandbox and then like such a malleable like medium. I'm so excited for this because I personally just like love anime and like animation, and like there are some amazing stories that come out of like Japanese anime. So I think that like this is a really interesting and new and cool direction that Star Wars is going into. Like I'm just very excited for this, and like for it to be like a bunch of short films, like short standalone films, instead of just like giving us like a bunch of like trilogies. Like I'm into it. Like I'm ready for it. I'm happy. Like I think this is the thing that I'm probably most excited about.
I can't tell if Greg is happy or sad. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We see the smiles and the glee on Greg's face. He will be there opening day, front and center, watching this thing on Disney Plus, what have you. But my question to you, Willow, is this: Star Wars Visions, something fresh, a little bit something different than what we're normally used to seeing on a smaller big screen. What say you about Star Wars Visions?
So we're gonna see lots of split screens. Action sequences that last a half hour, throwing one punch. I like anime. I do. I really do. I grew up with it. I don't know if I will it. Okay, I'll watch it. I'll see what it's like, but I don't know. I'm skeptical. I'm very skeptical about this. We'll see how it turns out, though. I don't know.
I think it'll be a new fun direction to like go in for like Star Wars to go into. Like it just it's different, and like I feel like it'll bring like new life into Star Wars. So I'm excited about this. Like I'm very happy, and I think like this is a new interesting direction that like Star Wars is going into. And also like an entire episode like throwing one punch, like yes, thank you. Like give me the Frieza saga of like Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker just like standing on a hill. Like I'll still watch it. Like I love it.
Standing on a hill, having that great badass hero pose.
Like 3 episodes of him just saying, "Don't do it. Don't do it."
We want the ultimate stalker, and we're okay with that.
Yeah, that sounds a little creepy now that we're saying it out loud here on a screen and 20,000 people are watching this at home. But aside from that, Star Wars Visions, I'm a bit intrigued. We'll see where it shakes down. Now, before we get to our last story, Willow, Willow, I sent a request to the people working behind the scenes. I think you know what that request is for this next story. So our last story of the day, this is going to be about this could potentially be a really big deal for not only Star Wars fans around the world, but for Star Wars as a whole. This is a new film that is going to be put together. And there was an announcement video that was dropped last night during the investors meeting. Okay. Now we all know that this young director has done a fantastic job so far in her career. She has directed a film that gave Charlize Theron, Christina Ricci career-defining performances in Monster. One of the best biopics, one of the best dramas I've ever seen in my life, and one of the best examples of great acting I've seen. Patty Jenkins is officially joining the Star Wars family, but not in the way you think. She is doing something that I didn't think was even possible. Now I've heard the names through the years. There's a video game of the same name that has come out on numerous video game consoles over the last several decades. But let me tell you all something. This could be a really big hit, and this could really change the face of Star Wars for years and years to come. Patty Jenkins is going to be directing a Star Wars movie known as Rogue Squadron. Yes, Rogue Squadron. Now, before I get to everyone's opinions on this, I'm going to share the info. But as I'm sharing the info, we have a special guest that's going to be joining us for this last story. Let's bring him into the studio. Brian of Reels and Heels is here with us today. He is going to be sharing his thoughts and opinions on this story, Rogue Squadron. So here's a quick synopsis of how this is going to go. Patty Jenkins said that this movie is going to be personal for her because her late father was a fighter pilot, and she wants to celebrate the memory of her late father by making the best fighter pilot movie. These are her words. These aren't mine. She wants to make the best fighter pilot movie ever made. Well, I think Tony Scott and a few other pilots of 1986 may have something to say about that. But you know what? It's Top Gun in space.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's a solid idea. So here's the deal. Rogue Squadron is in the works, right? Patty Jenkins is going to be calling the shots. Now, this group was established as a band of X-Wing pilots originally founded by Luke Skywalker during the Battle of Yavin, and they were also known as Rogue Group. So the squadron fought in all the battles, such as Battle of Hoth and Yavin and all this other stuff that's going on. Although they have an even more storied history within Star Wars Legends, which spawned over 100 years. Patty Jenkins revealed the inspiration was from her late father. Rogue Squadron is actually going to be released. Rogue Squadron is going to hit theaters everywhere, if theaters are still around at that point, on Christmas Day, 2023. Christmas Day,
Of course.
2023. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I don't know about you, but Top Gun in space with Patty Jenkins calling the shots. Granted, she did pretty good with Wonder Woman 1. Not great, but good. Wonder Woman 2 has yet to be seen. Once that comes out, I'll have a better idea, and I'll be able to sit down and actually watch it once it comes out. But Christmas Day, 2023 with Rogue Squadron, I'm down. Sign me up. Top Gun in space. There's a little part of me that's been curious to see if this was actually going to happen for a long time. Plus, I played the game on my N64, which, by the way, is a good game. Hard. It's tough as nails to beat the game, but this isn't a game, folks. This is reality. So, Brian, special guest joining us from Reels and Heels. Brian, I got to hear this, man. What are your thoughts on Patty Jenkins helming Star Wars Rogue Squadron for Christmas Day 2023?
I think this is the perfect combination. I mean, you already said Patty Jenkins is a fantastic filmmaker. And I know secretly she's a huge Star Wars fan. She's mentioned it many times over the years, if you follow her career. And, she's always wanted to do Star Wars, but she's been too busy. So to jump into this, it does kind of question me if where does Wonder Woman 3 fit into this, because there are talks that she does want to do that, but we'll see. I do think, even though the time frame doesn't line up with Mandalorian, I'd like to see Mr. Kim from Kim's Computer go up in there.
Okay.
This is where Ryan draws a blank because I have no idea what Kim is.
He's the fighter pilot from the Mandalorian.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. I'm like, wait a minute. What? Okay. Now it makes sense. So, yeah, you'll be there opening day. There's no question about it. Willow, Rogue Squadron. Let's say you Top Gun in space. You got to sign up for this thing, or you're going to be like, nah, I got better things to do with my time.
I'll go with my husband because I like watching his reactions to this. So
You get two movies.
This will be date night 2023 for the young married couple of Willow and Joe back there. Okay, well, that'll be nice to see. By the way, you can't really do it in the theater, but I'm curious. Think you can seek your cell phone to tape some of his reactions and post it on your Instagram? Because that'd be kind of funny if you could. You can't really do that, and I don't exactly condone it, but if you did, maybe it'd be kind of cool.
We'll let it slide.
Yeah, we'll let it slide for the theater goers at home, or theater goers in the theater. But Greg, Rogue Squadron, Patty Jenkins calling the shots. What do you think? You going to be there for this, or you kind of got other things on your mind?
I'll give it a chance, honestly. Like I'll give it a chance because I love her as a filmmaker. The games are fun, so I'm just like, okay. But I'm like really, really interested to see like someone who like knows like the ins and outs of like fighter pilots, and someone who knows like the culture and like the history of it, to like take it off of Earth and put it into space. I feel like that'll be fun to see. And like dogfights in space are always fun. Like they're always fun to watch. So
Yeah.
I do feel like this is going to be a very well made, fun movie. But again, like like we were saying earlier, this is a lot of Star Wars. Like this is a lot of Star Wars, and like as something that we would get like every few years, like I do feel like people might get burnt out, but I also feel like this is going to like weed out the like fair weather fans of Star Wars, because like there are people that are just like, oh yeah, I love Star Wars, I watch everything, and then they're just like, and then after this they're just going to be like, I can't do Star Wars anymore. There's just so much. But I also have like a counter argument to that, to say like there's going to be something for everyone in all of them.
Oh yes.
Like
remember though, this is split between Disney Plus and theatrical.
That is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Like I do think like I do think that this is going to be something for everyone. Like everyone's going to find something that they can connect to, and like everyone's going to find something that they like. And I think that like it'll just like grow the Star Wars like fan base too, because like everyone's going to find something.
Oh yeah.
Like,
this is going to cover these announcements.
People like it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot, but like it's going to be either really really good for Star Wars fans or just like tiresome out.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk and potential rewards with this. Some of these could work out. Some of these could fall flat on their face. Some of these could be some of the best pieces of Star Wars media we've seen in decades. Who knows? Only time's going to tell. It depends on the marketing. Depends on how the final products turn out. All we can do is speculate at this point. We really can't do much other than that. But I will say this, though. This is going to cover all the ground. This is going to cover all the channels, all the audiences. This is going to cover all the proverbial bases you would want in a baseball stadium, and then some, son. So real quick, I want to go around the table here as we wrap things up, do this kind of rapid fire. Of all the projects, Star Wars-wise, just Star Wars, that you have heard about, that we have gone over during the course of this show, what's the number one project that's coming from the Star Wars galaxy that you are the most excited for? I'm going to go around the table. This is going to be rapid fire, and then we'll kind of wrap, and then we are going to wrap things up because we have gone over an hour. And this thing has been a great conversation. We have other things that we do want to get to. Willow, ladies first. Number one thing in the Star Wars galaxy that you are most looking forward to. Go ahead.
Ahsoka.
Someone stole my.
I'm gonna say it. Hey, I gotta rep the ladies.
So Ahsoka is your number one pick. That's fantastic. Our special guest joining us for the Rogue Squadron story side of things, Brian of Reels and Heels. What's number one on your list here for Star Wars?
Well, I think my buddy that way is going to flip a table, but Obi-Wan.
There we go.
Wow. I'll tell you why. Because we don't really know what Obi-Wan was doing all that time. He wasn't just watching Luke. He was doing secret missions, and to see Darth Maul in a live action again is going to be great.
Potentially, we shall see. So General Kenobi. Sorry, I just had to throw out the Grievous line. I just have to. All right, so Obi-Wan Kenobi for Brian of Reels and Heels. Greg. Yes. What is number one on your list of these Star Wars projects?
I have a top two, which
you can't. No, I said one. You can't break the rules here. We're doing this rapid fire. You got to go with the rapid fire. Number one, go.
Fine, just to be different, because Ahsoka was already taking the animated shorts. Like, I'm very excited for that, just because like there's a lot that can be done with that, and I feel like it'll definitely expand the Star Wars universe.
All right, so you're referring to Star Wars Visions, right?
Yes. Lots of new characters that can come through that.
Visions.
Yes, Visions. I
just have to do the fancy hand movements there. Spirit, no, not Spirit Finger. Whatever. That's another reference to another movie. I know, right?
Great. Did you like the anime that Marvel did?
Which one?
The animated films that they did for Marvel. They did like Blade, X-Men. Wolverine.
Oh yeah, I have to find Blade. I did want to watch that one, but yes, I did like some of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what the Star Wars stuff is going to be. It's going to be
Okay.
really
Then I'm happy. Like I actually like really like those ideas. So like I just think there's like so much that can be done like through like this medium. So I'm just like I'm happy about it. Like I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Ryan, can I just ask you guys one thing? Over or under 50% that the new Taika project is a new area of Star Wars that we haven't seen?
Oh, the Taika Waititi project.
Yes,
I'm in. I'm 100% in.
Greg's been in since day one when he heard the rumors circulating around the interwebs about it. But yeah, it could be something. I'd say
I just want something new.
Yeah, we just want something fresh. I'd probably say over 50. If you want to know my thoughts about the numbers, Willow, let's say real quick.
I'll just support everything.
Because that Taika Waititi thing, we don't know too many details on that. But as we go rapid fire, I know we should probably think of different answers to this, but I'm going to go with Willow on this. I ever since she showed up in Mandalorian and her live action debut with Rosario Dawson, who's a very capable actress, there's no question about it. She's been doing it for years, and she's been kicking tail and taking names in other brands and other series for years. I got to go with Ahsoka.
Yeah,
I got to go with Ahsoka because for someone who didn't know a whole lot about her character growing up, just hearing rumblings about it through the course of the air and space and time, and then she shows up in Mandalorian and lays the smackdown on everybody in the first 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, yeah, Rosario Dawson, if you're watching this, I'm going to be there opening day. I will be there to watch your show. I don't care if it's 3 episodes or 300. I will be there for each and every single one. So yeah, Ahsoka's got my vote. But that is going to do it for this special edition of Nerd Culture, talking about DC, or excuse me, not DC. What am I talking about? Disney Star Wars news. I want to thank each and every one of you for chiming in the chat. I want to thank for those of you who watched this live, or if you're watching the replay, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. You can find me, Greg, everything we're doing here at Nerd Culture, at It's Nerd Culture, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But before we go, Willow, where can the people on the internet find you?
Everywhere. You can find me.
What does that mean exactly?
You can find me on Facebook at Skylar Productions. That's where my show is. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch.
Everywhere.
Just
if
Google
I'll be there.
Skylar and see what pops up. Like really, that's.
Boy, that was very fun. Our special guest talking about the situation with Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Brian of Reels and Heels. Where can the good people on the internet find you and all the projects you have coming up?
Well, you can find me, Willow, and my wife, Nicole, every Saturday at Reels and Heels Official on Facebook and the HWS Web TV YouTube page.
And tomorrow, join us tomorrow.
That's right. Join us tomorrow. We're doing famous vehicles from film, animated, and TV shows.
I'm excited for this.
That is going to be a lot of fun. The holiday season just continues to keep on giving you special gifts. And as I said, once again, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at It's Nerd Culture. Check out our YouTube channel. New videos are dropping each and every week. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. And in the meantime, stay healthy, stay safe, stay strong, and may the Force be with you.